What's up, y'all? So, we're going to get deep tonight, man. I think so. Share this with somebody. Facebook was lit, man. We had 11,000 people on Facebook. So to everybody saying Facebook don't be lit, Facebook be lit for me. We had 11,000 on at one time live. Like, I'm sure it was way more than that overall. So Instagram, man, I don't be showing a lot of love to Instagram. I'll be real. I don't. Facebook is my spot. It's Facebook. I love Instagram too, but yeah, it is what it is, man. So share this with somebody if you can. I'm gonna bring some people and ask some questions like always. Make your questions short. I don't want to cut anybody off, and I would love to talk to you all night, but everybody on here don't want to hear you talk all night. All right, so it is what it is. So make your questions short. If I bring you on, let's talk. Let's wrap it up in like 2 or 3 minutes so I can bring a lot of you guys on. As I listen to my peaceful vibes music, if it's too loud, I'm sorry. I will turn it down. But I just want to share a few things before I bring people on. So the text thing, so the text community, you guys know about it if you're a part of it. But I'm going to be real with you. I pay $3,000 a month to text you guys. So it's an investment for me to be able to give back as much as I can. So for one for me, but I know that's why my life is so blessed because of what I give out and what I do behind the scenes. I think God rewards you publicly for what you do privately. So that's just a side note because people always ask that question. But I want to talk about something tonight. I want to get deep and let's just talk about social media, man. Let's talk about it all. I'm blessed to have a top podcast in the world. When I say that, man, don't look at your life, be like, oh, I don't have a top podcast. Like, I'm going to tell you this, all that numbers and crap, like, I don't care about that, bro. At the end of the day, we all going to die at some point. And none of that's going to matter. All these accolades we living for and all these people's approval and praises with people that don't really care about you. And I texted the other day and I put it in my podcast. Y'all got to realize, man, 98% of this world don't give a damn about you. I've been at my rock bottom before, and it was about 2% of people in my life that actually cared. The world kept going on. And so many of us, we live our whole entire life trying to please the world. And I'm going in tonight, so hopefully I'll get to questions. We live our whole entire life like trying to be liked by other people. We don't even love ourselves. Like, think about it. Like, we've all been guilty of it. We've all been controlled. And some of us, we're being controlled and we don't even know we're being controlled. And I'm not saying social media and technology is a bad thing because it's changed my life. But if you see me being inconsistent on social media, like Instagram, it's purposefully. Like, I'm doing it on purpose. Like, I don't want anything to control me. I don't care about engagement. I don't care about the algorithm. I don't care about anything. I want to do what's pure to my heart. I want to listen to my soul because I refuse to lose myself to please a world that can care less about you. So when you realize that, like, when you die, it's going to be people that think about it. Like, who's talking about name a person anymore? No, you probably get a week, 2 weeks if you're popular. And that's it. Outside of the people who truly love you, the world is going to move on and even their lives are going to move on. And so it just amazes me how we live our whole entire life, like trying to please, like just the world, like especially a world full of strangers. And I'm not telling you not to go hard, but I'm telling you, don't lose yourself for this because half of this stuff is fluff. Like even in the space that I'm in, like I know what's a real relationship. Half of these people are your associates. They ain't going to be there when it gets tough. They say they care about you because they want something from you. As soon as you stop giving them what they want, that's when they stop caring about you. Just straight facts. And so y'all got to realize that, man, like, don't chase what doesn't matter, right? This make-believe world that doesn't matter, and you lose sight of what truly matters. My most happiest times is when I'm not on here. Facts. Like, I love being live right now because I love to give, but we get into a place of consuming. We don't even create no more. How many of us wake up and we just consume? You've consumed so much from the outside world that you ignored the creativity that's inside of your heart. And that's the problem. And then we try to create, and then this thing creeps up in our head that, oh, it's not popular enough. It's not good enough. It's not like such and such. It's not like that person. It's not like that influencer. Like, it's whack. And I want to just preach that message to y'all. Like, this stuff does not matter. It only matters if you're helping other people. But at the end of the day, this is like a make-believe world. And it's coming from somebody that's not bitter. I have 12 million people on Facebook that follow me. I have 2 million on here. And a lot of people in my position would tell you this because they want to sell y'all dreams all the time. I don't want to sell you a dream. I want you to connect with your soul, and I want you to have good mental health, and I want you to have freaking fulfillment, man. So many of us were not fulfilled because we are spending more time on the thing that isn't our top priority. You know, I was at a meeting. I was speaking to a mastermind the other week, and make a long story short, this guy was like, I'm not happy. I'm not consistent in certain areas in my life. That's what he said. I said, okay, what do you want to be more consistent? He said, I want to be more consistent with spending time with my daughter. I said, okay. I said, what does your daughter mean to you? He said, everything. I said, okay, how much time do you spend with her? And he was like, minimal time, pretty much. So I said, your daughter means everything to you, but you spend probably less time, you know, out of all the things that you do with her. It doesn't make sense. So of course you're not fulfilled, because you'll never be fulfilled when you spend more time on the things that are lesser priorities in your life. But you spend, you know, time as if those are your top priorities in your life. So I told him, I was like, bro, I get it. Sometimes you got to go through seasons where you work harder, you focus on those lower priorities. Like for me, speaking and all that stuff, so I can make more freedom for my top priorities, like spending time with my family. But that's a season. But so many of us, we literally are spending times on so much time, the majority of our time, on things that aren't priorities in our life. Like we're working a job that we hate, right? And we're ignoring what fulfills us. We're ignoring what makes us happy. We're ignoring the things that we want to do. And we wonder why we're unhappy. It's called a disconnect. You are disconnected from your fulfillment because you are doing things that you don't want to do, right? You're spending time on things, and I get it. Sometimes you have to, like, so I'm not ignoring the fact of that, but you're spending so much time on other things that you say that don't really mean that much to you. It's like a lower tier priority. You know, so I always say, like, order your priorities and like put your priorities in order and then distribute your time based upon that. So I'm going to be fulfilled when I'm around my family because that's a top priority in my life. I'm going to be fulfilled when I'm creating because that's a top priority in my life. Some of us, we're doing the direct opposite of that, and we wonder why we're not fulfilled. We wonder why we're not fulfilled. So I wanted to share that with y'all. And I think I was going onto my podcast, right? Like straight up is number 2 in the world in education, right? I think it was number 1 at some point today. And I was like, cool. That was my reaction. Like, all right, cool. And I sat there and thought about it. Like, what's crazy is that they let a real one in. And I'm not saying other people ain't real and stuff like that, but I'm talking about my message. Like, listen to my podcast. It's this. It ain't me interviewing people. That's very rare that I do. I could probably count on one hand how many I did this whole year. It's me speaking really straight up from the heart. And more importantly, it's me being me, sharing my ups and downs, me being a real model. As Pac said, I ain't trying to be a role model. I'm trying to be a real model. Role models play a role. I don't want to be a role model. I want to be a real model that show you the ups and downs, that show you the struggle, that show you the grind, that has conversations with you like this, that's telling you the other side of things. And, you know, so many of us, we're running after something that once we catch it, we're going to realize it's something that we never needed in our life. I'm telling you, the thing that you think is missing, once you go seek and get that thing, you're still going to be unfulfilled. And so I want you guys to know, man, like, just focus on what matters. Please, like, if you take anything from this message tonight, get very clarity on what matters most in your life. Like, get very clear on that and live the rest of your life accordingly. Like, prioritize your time, because what you spend your time on is what's going to bring you, it is going to control your emotions the most. It's just facts. So if you say, you know, I'm an artist and that fulfills me, but you spending 10% of your time on that, no wonder why you're not fulfilled. And yeah, you got to sacrifice other things. I sacrifice engagement. I don't post 24/7, 365. There might be times where I do, but I don't care. I don't care about none of that because that's a Hollywood make-believe world. I don't care. I focus on what's true and what's real. I know certain people are around me and come to me because I'm the black guy in the personal development space. You know, I got a good podcast or my videos are viral. Would you mess with me if I didn't have all of that? If my answer is no, I'm going to place you accordingly in my life. I'm going to tell you a problem that a lot of you have. This is just a side note. You giving people titles in your life that they don't deserve. Just because they say they care about you don't mean they care about you. When it gets real, you're going to see who's real for you. Facts. Who's down for you. When you stop giving your loyalty, when you stop giving that person benefits, I promise you 90% of people, that's where their loyalty ends. You're going to see what's real when it gets real. But a lot of us, what we do is we give people positions in our life that we don't deserve, especially on social media. With these fake friendships and all of that stuff, man. That stuff is fluffy. And it's nothing wrong with it if it's a business thing. But stop thinking people are really for you, man. Because I'm telling you, you probably overlooking the people that are really for you because you chasing something that you think a person has for you that can really help your life, and you focused on that, but you're ignoring the people that are really for you. It's only lonely at the top when you abandon the people that's really down for you. Straight up. Straight up. And a lot of people wouldn't tell you this, but I will, because I know the experience. You know, like I go through it. I've been through it my whole life. I've been a professional athlete. I've been through it. I know it. I've been through it. Blessed to be able to see it my whole entire life. So now I'm in a position where I know why people come to me. Like I told the dude the other day, I'm not speaking at your event. If I'm the only black guy on your roster, I'm not speaking there, bro. Because I know what you're doing. You're checking off the box. Let me get a black guy there. Okay, we got one. We got a minority. Let me get a woman there. All right, not me, but you know, they a lot of these people, they want to check the minority box. Nah, bring me in because I'm legendary. Straight up, bring me in because. All right, T-Shell coming out right now. Bring me in because I know what I can do when it comes to touching people's hearts, probably better than most people in this world can do. Because I understand this is God's gift to me, period. Just like you got a gift. But I told the dude the other day, and you ain't going to undervalue me. Straight up. So get your worth, know your worth, demand your worth. Don't let people undervalue you just because they telling you, oh, you deserve this. And nah, you deserve what you deserve. Don't let anybody put a price tag on you. Anybody. Because they don't know what you've been through. They don't know what you go through. They don't know what you overcame. So I told the dude, nope, I ain't speaking. Nope, I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm not being your checkbox. Not doing it. And he didn't like it, but I don't care. I'm not going to fake relationships. I've never been good at it. I'm not going to fake connections. I'm not going to do any of that. It just, to me, it's pointless. Just to get what? Some notoriety? You know, like, man, I'm telling y'all, man, y'all got to see what's real and open your eyes, man. And get a tight circle, a tight team, get people who really want to ride for you, who really want to help you, and just go build and just go crush the world with that. Just go crush the world with that. But I'm telling you, man, one of the best ways, and I don't want to like scare everybody in here, but one of the best ways that you can see if something's real is just ask yourself, if all I had to offer was friendship, would this person still be in my life? Or if I didn't have this thing that's attractive, would this person still want to work with me or be with me? And I get it sometimes. Right? It's a business thing. Understood. But we be thinking people are really for us when they ain't. They for themselves. Some people just want to help you so they can help themselves. 99% of the world is selfish. That's why I don't never build something with somebody that ain't real. You know, like the connection ain't real because I don't ever want you to think that I'm more in your life than what I currently am. That's just facts. You know, and I'll tell people like, it is what it is. The people that I know ride for them, I ride hard. Anyways, man, let's bring somebody on here. Let's talk about this. Yeah. It's just facts, man. Like you look around the social media world and it is toxic. Social media is ruining your life. Do you hear me? It is. And I know some of us like, no, I got it under control, blah, blah, blah. Social media is ruining your life. It's ruining everybody's life. It's ruining our perception, our perspective. It's changing what we think success is. It's changing what we think creativity is. We're being so influenced on a mass level that it's dangerous. Like, I want to be clear about that. Like, you're being so influenced. What I mean by that is that you're looking outside. You're consuming so much content that some of us has gotten to a point we don't even think for ourselves. Like, we've really changed our mindset. And listen, there's times where it's great, you know, following good people and helping you out, rehab time and myself. But at the same time, man, like, social media is ruining your life. I've seen it ruin people's relationships because they think their relationship ain't good, but because they comparing it to somebody that photoshopped their picture and took the picture 80 times and they look happy and photoshopped the smiles. And what I mean by that is that behind the scenes they suffering, but they hitting this. I've seen people with success, right? They feel like they're not successful because they're looking on social media and the person is selling you dreams. They know how to market themselves really well and make you think they're something when they're not. And you feel like, dang, I don't have that type of money. I don't have that type of revenue. You don't even know they're probably struggling worse than you. Social media is ruining ideas and creativity. You think, oh, if I'm not doing what they're doing because they're getting a lot of views, or even the self-respect for ourselves. Oh, I got to show this. I got to act like this to be able to get this. And so many of us, we're trading our identity for popularity. Like, forget that. Forget it. I can lose all my followers. I wouldn't give a damn. Straight up. I wouldn't. Because at the end of the day, I don't live for this. I don't live for a blue check. I don't live by, if y'all know me, I say more followers, more problems. More money, more problems. I live to do my duty on this earth and what I was called to do. And what I'm called to do is to impact lives, period. That's what I'm called to do. Where I do that great or do that terribly in your eyes. That's what I'm called to do, and that's why I use this platform. That's why you see me super consistent with that. And, of course, I want to show beautiful things in my life at times because I'm proud and all that stuff. But, like, don't lose your sense of reality chasing this fantasy, man. Chasing this fantasy. No matter how big your house get, depression going to still be in you if you don't deal with it. Trust me. No matter how nice your car is, depression going to still be in you if you don't deal with it. No matter how many followers you don't have online, if you can't look in the mirror and love yourself, it don't matter how many likes you get. It's just facts. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you create that the world loves if you're ignoring what you truly want to create. You're always going to be unfulfilled. And so that's the message that I want to give y'all. I'm not telling you to delete your account, because I'm not. I'm not telling you to do any of that. But I'm just telling you to be more self-aware. Like, be more self-aware of your emotions and how you're being controlled. Like, the first thing you do is pick up your phone and want to scroll, you're controlled, bro. You're controlled. And that's why when I do that, I'm like, okay, I need to reset. And so I'm just in a mode now where, you know, I'm just doing what I want to do. I'm doing what makes me happy, what makes me fulfilled. I might retire. I might delete my pages. Who knows at one point? I don't care, because I'm going to do what makes me fulfilled, because I know that's the highest level of life is fulfillment. And so whatever brings you that, and it could be what you do on here. I'm not saying it's not, but whatever brings you that, focus on that, because that's what matters truly in life. I promise you, being a millionaire, being a thousandaire, being whatever type of heir, right? I promise you, it might make some things easier, but your life is still going to be hard if you keep running from your reality. I promise you, having millions of followers, being on TV and having all these people say you helped them, I promise you that will never be enough if you never believe you're enough inside. It will never be enough. Because you can fool the world, but you can't fool yourself. And I was sitting with my mom the other day as I get emotional, like sitting with my mom, and like we're talking. Well, I'm talking to her pretty much. She probably hear about this because I know somebody gonna send it to her. But it's like, man, life changes like that. You know, life changes like that. Without getting too personal in my personal business, well, forget it. I'm transparency Trent. My mom's battling. You guys know that. A lot of you know. A lot of you been following the journey. A lot of you read my book where she got healed and she's back at it. But I'm gonna just give you a brief synopsis. Like, she's not the same. You know, whether that's good or bad. And I've been telling her, like, she wants to go back to how she used to be, and I get it. You know, I don't understand her journey, her battle. Like, I'm not a part of it. Like, but I tell her all the time, maybe that's not what you're supposed to be. Maybe you're supposed to become better in this moment. But I say that because it went from, you know, my mom blowing my phone up every single day to now my mom not calling me at all because she's sick. And it's crazy. Like, the same things you used to hate will be the same things that you miss. That's a message in itself. Like, that person might be getting on your nerves now, but when that's gone, you're going to miss it. Like, my mom hasn't even stepped foot in my new house ever because she's so sick, right? Little things like that. Like, that's the stuff that truly matters, bro. Like, don't allow these people, I'm just going to say that, to twist your reality and make you forget what truly matters. And I say this with tears in my eyes. You know, obviously I'm sad with my mother, but I'm sad for this world, you know, that we're so focused on the stuff that don't matter. It doesn't. When we die, we're taking none of this stuff with us. You're not taking your cell phone with you when you die unless you want to be buried with it. But it's just real. Like, we live a life, and I just hate this influencer space. Like, people influencing you to disconnect from the things that truly matter. And I know they're not doing it on purpose. At least some of them are not. But it's like when I sit down with my mother and I realize, like, dang, like, this is life. Like, life changed like that. Life changed like that. You know, I'm with my daughter outside riding her unicorn, and when she's riding her unicorn, and I'm just like, this is what life is about. Like, I'm not going to get this moment with her back. Like, she's going to be grown in a few years. Tristan is 12 years old. It seemed like yesterday he was 3. And we go through life so focused on all of these things, our job, or with all these things, that we literally become oblivious to the things that truly matter at the end of our life. At the end of our life. And this is a person talking to you that's experienced the American dream. That's experienced it. I've been in the NFL. I experienced it. I'm whatever you want to call me now. I've experienced it. Successful, as the world calls it. I've experienced it. All of these things. And it's like, damn, every time I got something and I thought that it would be like, oh, I'm going to feel great. It's a high. It's there for the moment, then it goes away. And you start to really think about, like, what truly matters. Like Chappelle, why did Chappelle walk away from 51 million or whatever it was? There's a reason. And I'm not telling you to make all the money in the world. Like, I'm never going to tell you that. Go be as much as successful as you want to be. But don't think that those are the things that's really going to fulfill your life, because it's not. It's not. And I get emotional about that because, you know, it's something that I fight for. I fight for in my own household. I fight for in my own life. And I fight for it with y'all. Just start thinking a little bit deeper, if you can, and more emotionally aware. So who wants to come on here live? I just want to have this moment with y'all, 2,000 of you, you know, seeing me get emotional. But this is me oftentimes, man. This is me when I'm recording my podcast. Y'all just can't see me. But we need to satisfy our souls. You know, we need to satisfy our souls. We need to disarm the myth of, and listen, guys, I'm okay, by the way. Like, I know people gonna hit me like, Trent, are you okay? I'm fine. Like, that's a whole other conversation. I'm totally fine, guys. Like, this is me. Like, that's why you get what the world gets. Like, I care so much. I care so much. Sometimes I just want to step away because I see how things are going in certain areas. I'm just like, it just disgusts me. It's like I want to step away from the game. But I want to talk about 3 quick things real quick. And I promise you I'll bring people on. I think it's very important to disarm a few things, to disarm 3 myths. The first myth, I talk about this in my podcast, is disarm the myth of perfection. Some people might disagree with me, but I don't believe perfection exists. I believe perfection is sold to us so we can always feel like we need something to perfect our lives, right? And no matter how much you get, your life will never be perfect. There are certain things that we learn how to do very well and efficiently that we become great at it and become perfect at it. But I think as a soul, the more you're on the search for perfection in this world, the more you'll lose appreciation for who you truly are. Because you're literally telling yourself that something is missing all the time, right? If you're looking to be perfect, you're literally telling yourself something is missing. I'm missing something in my life. And we have lived a whole entire life of that. That's why we're always seeking things, right? Whether it be material things or whether it be, you know, significant things, how we talk about ourselves. We're always trying to validate ourselves because we think that we're missing something because of this journey of what's being sold to us with perfection. I hope I'm not losing anybody right now. But even that road of perfection is made up of imperfection. Like, I became great at what I do, not because I was born with it, it's because I failed so many times. And I realized that imperfection is a good thing. I want to be imperfect, and not on purpose, but I want to try different things. I want to push the limits. I want to push the boundaries in my craft and who I am and the truth that I speak, because I really want to create change. And change isn't usually created by doing something perfect. So think about that. The second thing I want you to disarm is the myth of failure. Like, so many of us, we think that we failed in life because something didn't go right. Sometimes that's the greatest success. Some things have to go wrong so the right things in your life can go right. You heard me say that a million times. And so when we change our view of failure, we start to realize that failure is actually feedback. Failure is actually something that's a part of the journey. Failure is beautiful. Progression is just failure that didn't quit. That's all. I'm just a person that didn't quit. Made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm a person that didn't allow the self-guilt and the shame and the pity and the opinions of others to keep me in the same place. Progression is just failure that didn't quit. And last but not least, disarm the myth of success. Like, we got to disarm this myth that I have to be famous or I have to have a lot of followers online to become successful, or I have to have this amount of money in my bank account to become successful. Success isn't a status in society. Success is a place in your heart. Success is not a destination. Success is a decision. You're successful because of who you are. You're successful because you didn't give up. You're successful because you lost everything and you're still going for it. You're successful because you overcame that sickness. You're successful because you're going through that sickness and you're still fighting it. That's what success is, man. Success is not a status. Like, it's not a place in this world. It's not a position in the world. It's not. It's not a position in society. It's a place in your heart. You decide that. Not somebody's view of what success is, or if you have this amount of money, you're successful. Or if you have a CEO, you're successful. I know a lot of freaking successful failures that freaking suck holistically in their life. Holistically. Like, we got a lot of one-dimensional heroes. Like, people who are heroes in things that's easy to be heroes in. But you look at their whole entire life, they're not a real model, right? Their whole entire life, and I'm not saying perfect because I don't believe in perfection, but they're not a real model. I would happily model, like, open my life and be proud of every area of my life. As a father, as a husband, as a creator, as a philanthropist, as a servant, every area, as a brother, as a friend, every area. Does that mean that I can't improve in those areas? Yes, I can improve in those areas. But I'm not a one-dimensional hero. I'm not a person that's just online. Hey, guys, like, 3 tips to be successful. Here you go. Sign up for this. I'm not that guy. I want you to look at my whole life. And if you see chinks in my armor, in my whole life, you see things where, that I am literally, doing the direct opposite of, whatever it may be, then don't follow me. Don't. Because I don't want to be a one-dimensional hero. I want to be a holistic hero. I do. So, enough about me, man. Let me bring y'all along, because I said I was going to bring y'all along. What's up? How to live without regrets? The only reason you have regrets because you haven't learned from them. Somebody told me that. I don't know who I heard that from, but I was like, yep. Dang, I feel like it was an interview I was watching. The only reason you got regrets because you haven't learned from them. All right, let me see. Let me see who's on here. Oh, I know I'm going to bring on. Yeah, man. So, who want to come on here? But yeah, I just want to say that, man. I don't know, man. And I could be totally wrong about everything, by the way. It's just my experience of life and what I've seen. And, I just want to build real things with real people. Like, I'm just not good at faking connections. I'm just not. I wish I was. Maybe I could be a lot more successful than what I am. Or a lot more popular, right, than what I am. Which would be crazy. I wouldn't even want that. But I'm just not good at that. Like, if I don't feel something real from you, I'm not going to do us both a disservice and act like I care about you when I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, act like I really got your back when I really don't. I'm not going to do that. It's not right. Because I wouldn't want anybody to do that to me. And you don't have to be everything to everybody, by the way. Like, that's what I'm trying to make you aware of. Like, some of us, we're trying to be everything to everybody, and we end up being nothing to anybody. We have no loyalty to anybody. And so I know my priorities. I know what I'm going to give my everything and who I will give my everything to. And everybody else, it is what it is. I got family, I got friends, I got associates, and I act accordingly. But what often happens is we put our acquaintances, our associates, in the family category. And you give somebody a title that they can't live up to, that you shouldn't have gave them. And that's what usually happens. That's when we get disappointed in life. Dang, this person wasn't here for me. They wasn't ever there for you. They was there for what they could get from you. They was there for what surrounded your life. So for me, if you don't like Trent as the person, and only thing you are is attracted to Trent as the personality, then I don't want you in my life. I don't. Because I've been there before. Like I said, I've experienced this my whole life. I've been a star athlete my whole life. So I've experienced this my whole life. So I've been there and I've seen it over and over and over. And that's why y'all get so much content about know your circle, right? About your friends, about people around you, because like that's my space. And a lot of people don't like me talking about it because it pulls the curtains back, right? And it shows who Oz is. It pulls the curtains back. But I talk about it so much because if you look at a lot of people's depression, a lot of root issues happens because of a relationship. Probably 95% of people, it's usually something happened that led them to, like they kept somebody in their life that they longer than they should have. They had a business relationship with somebody that they shouldn't have been in business with. Like a lot of things start with that. And so I'm the voice, no matter who likes it or not, that's gonna talk about those things, because I want to see more pure, honest relationships in this world. That doesn't mean perfect, but I want to see more pure and honest, like pure heart to heart intentions are right. You know? So yeah, y'all didn't ask for all that, but I just wanted to give it because it's something that I see in this space, and it happens. Like social media to me is like the new Hollywood, right? It's like, oh, okay, let me connect with that person. Like I'll tell y'all right now, if you hit me up, to everybody on here, if you hit me up and like it's just on some like, hey, I want to do this, and it's on like, I'm like Kanye, man, on this part, like with friends. I talked about this last time. Like, if you need something from me, just ask. Like, don't hit me with how are you doing? I really care about you. And you know good and well you just want to ask me for something. Just ask me for it. Like, I would respect that more than the whole butter you up, and then really say what they want. Like, I'll just be waiting with people. Like, I just be like, okay, I ain't heard from this person. How long? Okay, cool. They've been thinking about me? Okay, cool. Maybe they have. But I'm just waiting on the request. And sure enough, the request comes. Well, I just wanted to see if it was like nobody's gonna hit me up no more, right? Like, I know it's real, man. And I'm not telling you guys to overlook that. Like, I'm really joking, but I'm serious at the same time. It's like you put LOL after something like you really mean, just so like the punch doesn't hurt as hard. You put LOL. Yeah, I'm just putting LOL just so might be people on here that's like, oh, that's why Trent don't respond to me. It's like people on the podcast. Like, people ask me to be on their podcast. I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, why do you really want to be on? Do you really care about my message? Or do you want me to be on your podcast so you think I'm going to promote your podcast to bring more people to your podcast? I hate that. That's why I don't do a lot of them. Like, bring me on because you think I'm dope. Any person I ever bring on straight up is going to be because I think they're dope. I don't care if they're promoted or not. You don't have to, because I'm not bringing you on here to promote it. I'm bringing you on here because I think you're dope. And I want to show you with my audience. You want to promote it, cool. But I had somebody get mad at me because I didn't promote their stuff. I'm like, you interview me. That's your job. People be like, shoot, you should share it. Like, I will share things that I believe in. Facts. And I do a lot of that because I care about people. But I just can't stand the whole, like, set you up. Like, I don't know, man. Let me get off of that because I'm going to say some things I probably shouldn't say. But you know what I'm saying? Like, people be like, Trent, I want you on my podcast. I'm like, cool, dope. Get on their podcast. We do it. They asking questions that somebody asked me a million times. And I'm like, you probably didn't do your research. But anyways, they asking questions. And then after, they're like, oh, you need to share my podcast. I don't need to do nothing. It's like, you brought me on here. Like, it's not my job to do that. I will share it because maybe I like it or I think it's dope. But the whole marketing strategy, man, it's too many marketers out there that market stuff too much. Here I go. I'm just being honest. This is me speaking facts, and I can say this because at the end of the day, didn't nobody build me except my community and God. I didn't have no handouts from people, anything like that. So, facts. When nobody holding the phone for me recording videos when I started, and even growing this thing, people started helping me once I got to like 8 million people on Facebook, right? So I can say these things confidently because nobody really helped me except God and you guys in my community. That's why I care about y'all. I care about you guys because you guys make it happen. But there are a lot of good like marketers in the world. And what I mean by that, it's a lot of good people who look the part, who understand the whole perfection thing, right? Understand that most people are yearning for perfection. So how can I sell somebody something to hopefully make them feel like they're missing something, right? For me, there's things that I push because there's things that I truly care about. So if I ever, say, hey, here's a course, because I truly believe in it. If I ever say, hey, here's a podcast, I truly believe in it. If I ever say, here's this, I truly believe in it. And that's just my advice. Everybody don't like that though. I know the business people are gonna be like, gosh, I hate Trent. But I just think when your heart is right, God takes care of everything else, man. And so I got programs coming, by the way. And it's because Rare Breed Academy is coming, because I believe in it wholeheartedly. But, I might push something once every blue moon to the world because I really got to believe in it. And this is something I really believe in. My books, I really believe in them. All of that. So it is what it is, man. I just think I took a different way to what people call success than most people. I really put in that work out the mud and really built it brick by brick. And I think that's why you can see it that, 11,000 people on Facebook at once was on live, 2,000 on here. And whether it was 2 or 11 people, I would still go hard. The same passion, the same energy, because that's what I care about. But yeah. Anyways, let me bring somebody on. What's up? Who wants to come on? For real. I'm through talking. Who gonna get that $500 though? I'm not gonna get no podcast requests now. People gonna be like, guys, I don't mind being on people's podcasts, okay? But just don't expect me to do anything outside of being interviewed, right? I'll do all the podcasts in the world. Let's see. Carrie. All right, Carrie, I'm gonna bring you on. Okay, a few people. Okay, I got a few people. Y'all, hey, you're never through talking. You ain't through talking either. You talk a lot. Text to win $500. Yeah, so one last thing for real before I bring people on. I got to say this. Like, I think I said it on Facebook. I don't know if I said it on here when I first got on. Like, I just want to be transparent. And I might do something. I've been asking a lot of you, so a lot of you know, because I'm asking y'all like, hey, would y'all like something deeper on the text community? I'm never going to stop texting for free. You guys are always going to get that every single day. But I'm thinking about doing something a little bit deeper, right, than that, and making it super affordable. I'm talking about like dollars, right? But that's a whole nother story. But I say that to say, like, if you're a part of my text community, just know that I'm spending $3,000 out of my pocket to text y'all. Okay, so like participate. If you don't want to be a part of my text community, like say stop. Okay, because I don't want to be texting you. You don't want to be a part of it. Like I had somebody the other day was like, I just happened to see it. Responded like I don't want to be a part of this. Why are you texting me? I was like, you signed up. What you mean? I didn't sign up. You signed up. It's like, well, you just hacked my phone. I was like, all right, I hacked your phone. Cool. Just all you got to do is say stop. STOP. You will never receive a text message from me again. And so, but yeah, I say that to say it's free for you guys, but I'm giving away, I'm going to be doing a lot more Zoom stuff because you guys wanted it. So not really Facebook and Instagram because I want to see y'all's faces. Zoom meetings are always dope when we do them. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that with y'all. Like I paid $3,000 a month to send you guys this text. So y'all better be participating. Share it with people. Share the number if you find it valuable. And we are going to roll out. I'll probably tell y'all tomorrow and get you guys' feedback and idea of what we're going to do. We'll probably make it like, I don't know. I don't want to spill the beans, but I'll tell you guys some options on if you want to be more connected with me, right, on a deeper level. Because I've been having people like, I like the text, but I want more. So I've been like, how can I make it super like dollars, no more than $10 for you guys. So for you guys, I want to dive deeper, but we'll address that when it comes. But who we got? It's all good, man. Y'all can love me too. Love. Rare breed is going to be dope. So I don't want to give too much of Rare Breed out. Somebody asked the question. But Rare Breed is my new company. When I say mine, me and my partners, okay? We believe in, some of you did the Rare Breed Challenge. We believe in everybody has a rare breed inside of them. So there's a lot of cool things that are going to be released, coming out that's going to dive in deeper, right? I'm talking about holistic stuff. Like I don't want to spill the beans. I'm talking about holistic. Like helping you in every area. And this has been my dream You know, if I could show you guys my first mission statement with rehab time, I want to open a facility. Like that was one of my things. So I'm not going to spill everything, but holistically, like I want to get into like medicines, natural medicine, all these things. And so, without giving too much away, that is what's going on with that. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Enjoy that side of personal development and growth. All right, what's up? Now I'm looking. Holistic is the way to go, man. You got to think 3-dimensional, even 4-dimensional, but really 3: mind, body, and soul. And so I'm always thinking about like, how can I help somebody's mind? How can I help somebody's body? How can I help somebody's soul? Still gonna happen too. I don't know what you're. Yeah, I'm just out here. About a fire. Got the little fire going. I can't wait till COVID is lifted when I can start doing these protect your peace events, man. Like that's another reason to be a part of my Texas community. Like when I was in Vegas this past week, I didn't get to do it because they changed my speaking schedule. But literally, people in Vegas were going to hike with me, and it's just my Texas community. So I have a way I can see like locations. So I can just target a location, and so that's another part to be like. That's another reason to be a part of that Texas community. Because if I'm ever in your city, and I'm gonna hike, especially if it's a place to hike, I'm gonna invite you guys like for free. Like just come out and hang out. And so I can't wait till COVID really gets lifted, so I can get out there and do these protect your peace retreats, protect your peace, just like going into the mountains and renting out some cabins. And I'm talking too much. The Caribbean's in the building. That's what's up. All right, let me see. Who am I gonna bring on here? You don't get my text anymore? Yeah. If it's T-Mobile, it'd be tripping. You got to sign up for something, they said. All right, I'm looking now. Okay, who wants to be on? For real, I'm literally bringing somebody on. Like, I'm not playing. Can we get a tour of my back porch? Man, you got to follow Maria for all that. Y'all know me. I don't be showing nothing. They're inside. Maria actually just walked out there and told me to get off of here. All right, make sure your internet is straight. Let me see. I want to ask somebody. All right, I'm just gonna pick the first person I pick. Everybody gets 4 minutes.
Oh, that's a lot of minutes. Hello.
Okay, cool. How you doing?
Great, Mr. Trent. Listen, every morning I started working for a dealership, and that's my new thing now. I sell cars for a living. And every morning on my way to work, I literally, not even joking, not gassing it, I listen to it's either a podcast or one of those songs that are like hyping, which I love so much. Yes. And every day that I do, I sell a car. It's just because of the feeling of the positivity,
I get
the
from that.
excitement, huh?
I said, do I get commission from your sale?
I mean, but
I just playing.
the excitement, the feeling I get, the energy that I start my day with, the whole thinking positive. And the minute you wake up, it's not even a joke. I said, I'm selling a car today. I sold a car today. No, I've been sold a car. I get to work and I sell a car. The days that I go without listening to your it's not even a joke. It's just without me. The day I don't think positive, I wake up with that energy. I really, really don't fucking sell a car. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse, but it's real. It's like you're calling it. You're just throwing it out through exist. Like you just
Yeah, and this thing, like, it's just about what you like. What you feed, it's like your body, right? What you put in your body is, you're going to feel that, right? And the same thing with your mind, like what you feed yourself in general, what you feed your life, you're going to become that. You're going to think like that. And what's probably happening is you're probably getting a boost of confidence, right? And maybe it's pushing down the self-doubt that we deal with, it's pushing down whatever it may be. And you're getting that confidence. And I tell people all the time, like, confidence is electricity. Like,
Yes.
like when you believe, I saw this other day. It said, and I talked about it when I was speaking. People don't believe in you; they believe in if you believe in you. That makes sense. So when you
Absolutely.
believe in yourself so much in what you do, and you truly believe it, it becomes contagious. And so that's probably what it is. I think it's just boosting your confidence to a whole nother level, and people are receiving that.
And this year I literally started saying I set some goals, and one by one I've been knocking them down. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I'm keeping my mind, I'm trying to stay away from all the negative. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm really like doing what I have to do. And it's crazy. But it's like you said, it's who you surround yourself with. Now, everybody I've been surrounding myself with negativity little by little, I'm pretty sure they've been noticing I've been backing up, backing up, backing up. And I see a lot of difference, and I'm so much in a better place. It's so crazy. But I always say you should be a therapist because I need to go see a therapist.
I don't like, man.
I need a therapist. The day you come to New York, I
I,
swear to God, after this COVID is over, I'll be your number one on the front row, like me.
New York. So New York, like as I wrap this up, some people like I want to. So New York is the biggest place for like rehabbers in the world. Like, so I'm
Yes.
in New York. So like like my last event was there before COVID. I was planning a live event in New York, and so New York is special to me. And yeah, so I'll be there whenever COVID lifts off, and I'm going to do an event. And like last time, we all went to the Dumbo, right? Like where the right below the
Yeah, by the
bridge.
bridge, by the bridge.
I did a free event out there. Just told people to come out and talk. So just be on the look. So you're part of the text community. So when I'm ever out there, I'll send a mass text and like we'll make that happen. All right.
Just know we appreciate you for sure. Those
I
texts, I love them. Thank you for the positivity. I love it every day. I
appreciate
look
you. Just
forward.
get, I was thinking about something, and that's crazy, man. Like that, like conversations like that, and it's crazy because I get that daily. Not those exact things, but I don't know, man. It just makes what you're fighting for worth it. And what I fight for is like things that I fight for my own life first. Like things that I fight for with myself, and I try to live as best as I can before I preach it. Um, but you guys know I'm obsessed with perspective. Like if I could teach anything, right? If I was like they said, you only can take three things to teach with you, right? I would teach my rehab process, which is the three R's. I would teach perspective, and I would teach um, hey, what's the third one? Perspective is second, and then fulfillment, the art of fulfillment. So those things are what I care about. So I really care about perspective. Like I talk about it all the time because I just feel like it's life changing. Like perspective is everything. Like literally how you see life. And I said on Facebook, it's a proverb that says instead of seeing that the rose has a thorn bush, start seeing that the thorn bush has roses. Like it's true. It's a perspective shift. And it's like, is your glass half full or half empty? I've always loved that thing, like that analogy. Um, but I realized this, and I want to share with you before I bring the next person on. There's two layers of life, I feel like, right? There's the first layer, like what we're experiencing, right? Something happens to us, it's that layer, but there's a deeper level of life, and that level is the meaning of the experience. Right. And so when I'm experiencing something, this is just a trick that I've done to help my perspective. When I'm experiencing something, I'm always asking myself a few questions. Okay, how am I responding to this, for one? Because I know I'm in control of how I respond. So how am I going to respond to this? The second thing that I ask myself is, what does this mean to me? And let me fix my words. Not what does this mean, right? That's a question too sometimes. But what is this going to mean? That small shift in words. Not what does this mean? You can ask yourself that. But what is it going to mean? Meaning that what am I going to create from this to help my life or to hinder my life, right? Because we do that. We create the meanings of certain situations. Just as well as you can say something left my life and my life is over, you can say something left my life and it's going to start a new beginning for my life. Perspective shift. And so the second thing is, the meaning. The third thing is, it's like, how are you going to use what happened to you, right? How are you going to use this as fuel to fuel your future? And I just want y'all to start thinking like that. Like when you go through life, and I'm not trying to get super deep, But when you go through life, start thinking about like, what is this going to mean to me? Right? Look at that underlining level of your experience, right? The deeper level of your experience. Don't just experience something. Like, what's the meaning of the experience that's happening? And what is the meaning you're going to give the experience that's happened? So that's a big thing with perspective. And perspective can either be your power or your prison. And when perspective is your power, your life changes. It does. And so I've learned that to really shift my life and change my life. All right, who else? Yeah, proverb. Thanks for putting it out. Yeah, that proverb is deep. Uh, let's bring somebody else on. What's up? What if it's too much? Yeah, at times it is too much. But again, I seem like a super optimist. But again, it's like, what is like, what do we measure too much off of? You know, and I don't take that out of context, by the way, but I'm just thinking about that. Like, even like, so my whole tour, some of y'all went to the tour. It was the Know Your Work tour and then the New Beginnings tour. And that was the question I asked everybody. I said, what is enough? Like, what is enough? And so many people don't know it. You know, me and my boy Jay, that's my partner in Rare Breed, you know, he talks about this, and I think it's powerful. I'm about to bring him on here one day. He talks about this, and it's powerful. And he says that a lot of us don't know our enoughs. And what he means by that, he's like, some of us don't know like what's enough. Like we don't know our we don't know what we're gonna tolerate and what we're not gonna tolerate. And then some of us, we don't have a ceiling of our enough. Like, we don't know what's too much. And so anyways, I asked the question, like, what's enough? Nobody knew it. Nobody knew what enough was. So I said, if you don't feel like you're enough, what are you comparing your life to? Like, if you don't know what enough is, what are you comparing your life to? Oh, the person on social media that's showing, oh, okay, I got you. Okay. Oh, the person that, that's what you're comparing your life to. And so we have these views of like what we compare our life to. And I know it's people out there that compare their life to me. And I'm just like, don't do it. Like, you don't know what I deal with. Yes, I'm Mr. Motivational, but y'all know, like, I'm going through a tough time in my life right now, like with my mom, like really, really tough, like hard. You know, just imagine being able to help the world, but you feel helpless to the one that you love the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about that. Think about that pressure of like how that would be. And some of us have been there where it's like, what do you do when you can't, there's nothing physically, like there's nothing you can do outside of pray. And obviously, I'm always going to do that and give it to God. And I mean, that's what we need to do with everything, just give it to God when we get in those situations. But that's been a struggle for me, to be transparent. It's like, man, you know, like it's almost like I feel resentment to what I do, to be real. And it's crazy to even say that, but sometimes like, damn, I'm helping a whole bunch of strangers in the world, but dang, like I can't help my mom right now. You know, like it's just weird. I'm just being transparent. Not saying I don't care about y'all. I care about y'all to death, but those are mind tricks, right? And so I have to flip that switch in my head and you know, focus on the positives. And it's not just my mother, it's other things too in my life. You know, it is this battle with, you know, I really considered, I hate to use the word retire. Like I've been doing this for 2009, but I really considered getting off of social media. I did, but I couldn't do it because I know that there's so many people that need the message. And I didn't want to let my reasons of getting off, like the reason I would do it, it shouldn't be a reason. And I don't want to get into that, but I thought about that. I thought about that this year. Just a thought. No actions, just a thought. So, you know, I share all that to say I go through these moments, man. Like when I do my podcast, it's usually me going through moments, me working through it in real time. But I go through these moments of like, you know, where I feel like I'm enough, where I feel like I don't, and I'm not enough. And this is somebody who has the quote unquote world, you know, the American dream, which is only half of what it seems, by the way. But, you know, that has what people would consider everything. But I've learned a long time ago that the world's everything is still nothing if you're not fulfilled in your soul. So I just can't keep expressing that. But who's coming over here next? We'll be lost without you, man. Y'all would not be lost without me. Y'all gotta give yourself some credit. Y'all unbreakable, unshakable. What I tweeted, what I text y'all today? Y'all can't be broken. But guys, I would never quit. I've said that before because my reason, like if I ever quit, I would be quitting on the reason why I started. Y'all know my reason. But these are just things that I go through. Like I mean, I will say this: I am the happiest when I'm doing this with y'all, like live. I'm not happy when I feel like I got to post something just to post it. I'm not happy, but I have to change my perspective because now I think about, I'm doing this because somebody out there needs it, right? And I've always thought like that, but it can be such a job. And when things start to feel like a job to me, I don't like it. I don't like working jobs. I like living in purposes. And so I had to just recalibrate and say, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do and how I want to do it. And don't care who likes it or not. And I've always had that in me, but now it's magnified this year because I see how short life is. I actually feel how tangible, like how life can change just like that. And I'm just like, man, I'm bringing T. Shelly baby out to the fullest. Well, not T. Shelly baby. T. Shelly out to the fullest. T. Shelly baby can stay tucked away. He don't need to come back. But what's up, man? Go to sleep, girl. You gotta say you sorry for stop listening. I'm just on here rambling. All right, who we got? Let's bring somebody on now. Let's bring somebody on. Oh, what's up, Corey? Corey, come on, bro. You want to come on, bro? Let me know. So Corey's my best friend, y'all, in the whole world. So I want to bring him on. So y'all can. That's why he laughing. I don't know if you can come on. If you can come on, bro, let me know. You gonna get a whole bunch of people gonna be following you, asking you questions. So let me know if you want to come on. But yeah, that's like my brother, man. Like for real. That's like a dude that you ain't got to question nothing. We've been through a lot together. He's known like he knows. Let me see. Did he get off here? I can't. He must got quiet on him. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Yeah. All right. Let me see. I'm about to bring somebody on. Hold on. I'm trying to find you. I just saw you. There you go. Fit Broker Chris. I'm about to bring. Oh, I can't even bring you on, Chris. You told me to bring you on. I can't bring you on. Make sure your video's on. He's gonna tell us all this. Oh, he'll come on. Okay, cool. Okay. What's up? I'm trying to bring him on. Waiting for him. There he is. They want to hear from you, bro.
What's up? What's up?
What you got going on?
Nothing. Just listening to you, dog. Listen to you inspiring people.
Let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm gonna bring you on the podcast, bro. So what's it? 2020. So let's just even say, let's say 13 years ago. Would you ever expected this?
Not at all. Not at all. The T Shelly baby that he wanted to keep tucked away. It was a whole different. It was a whole different Trent. It was a whole different Trent, man. Yeah, he grown so much. Like it's crazy, crazy to see the evolution of Trent Shelton.
And so to give y'all context, so y'all hear me talk about Anthony, like him committing suicide. So Corey, so we're all three roommates. So me, Corey, Anthony. So I know a lot of y'all hear that story just about that situation that happened. And I want to say, bro, when that happened, I felt like I was on your way to your house or something.
Nah, we were. This was back in the partying days.
Yeah.
Remember we was gonna call him that night.
Yeah.
That day it happened and stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that was crazy, man. Like, I think that was like, I don't know. I think for both of us, bro, that was just like a big wake up call.
Like
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a
So,
big wake up call for us.
What? Let me see. What surprised you most about the rehab time journey?
Just like the start, you remember we were going to like, I know I'm not as involved now, but first when rehab first started, we were taking trips to little elementary schools to talk, going out to the cabins in Whitney, Texas. Thought we was gonna get axe murdered out there,
Bro,
and just the growth.
man, man, we were tripping. I couldn't even sleep well that night, bro. We went into some deep, dark roads. The lake right by it. A hotel nobody was in. I was like, they setting up.
Yeah, it's
missing.
a setup. Yeah, just the growth,
bro.
but yeah. But he always Trent always been able to like have people gravitate towards him and stuff, and always a positive and genuine guy. So I just knew everybody always knew it'd be something special, and then it's totally different from what we thought, but
So yeah, bro, we got some people asking questions like I'm bringing on the podcast for sure, bro. We gotta link up. But so people don't know, from about 2007, really 2006 the first year, but 2007 to about 2011, 2012, something like that. Like we was rapping, you know what I'm saying? like in Texas,
right.
Shelly World,
ENT.
Like we thought that was how we was going, like we thought that was the thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would say some of the songs on there, they have to find that. I ain't giving that information out. They gotta dig.
Right.
Be like, nah, that wasn't me. But but I think, bro, what's crazy though? I think all of that, like, still prepared. Like, so even like rapping, I think it helped me like on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like our grind of like selling T-shirts then, because it was like styling on them.
Right.
Remember the T-shirts?
Yeah. Handing out CDs.
The T-shirt. Yeah. Doing that, but then that transition into like the See My Heart Not My Past T-shirts, where like literally, like Corey was saying, like event elementary school, 10 people would be there doing events at the library, like selling T-shirts out the back of the car, like really like grinding it, like back in the day with like some CDs and some mixtapes.
Right.
And that's the thing, bro. The people like want to put in that type of grind, bro. So like now it's just crazy. Like our last merch order, which was exclusive, we ran out. It was like 700-800 hoodies. You know what I'm saying? Just in 2 days, which we still ship out because a lot with COVID. But yeah, bro, like that's crazy, man. Like somebody said, I saw like, what's the best part of our friendship?
I think that we just like continue to connect, and like we can go months without seeing each other, like we never miss a beat. And we just always got that natural connection. It's like, I feel like we think alike on certain stuff. Very genuine people. Like when it comes to like helping people, it's always from the heart. That's some of the big things right there.
They say where the bar is at, bro. They want a freestyle session.
Can't bring out those bars on this.
Hey, you know what's funny, bro? Before I wrap this up, it was funny. So today, was it today? Yeah, we went to Dallas. Like we were in, what, off 75 where that bowling. I think you had your birthday there, or we had something there.
Bowling Barrel. By North.
Yeah. So we were over there. Yup. So we were over there, and we were driving on the feeder road, like going up 75, kind of by like before Buzz Brews, and I was just laughing.
I was like, what you talking about?
We was like, what you laughing at? And I was like, man, this is where me and Corey got into it. And I said, he got out the car. And she's like, what? Y'all got into it? Like, yeah, right. And I was like, nah. And it's like, what y'all get into over? I was like, we got into over Jesus and God. Like we both, we just got it. I was like, it was the dumbest, like, well, I would say dumbest conversation. Good conversation, but it was the dumbest thing to get into it over.
Right.
We were both, that whole situation, bro. But what was funny was, like, this is how you know true friends. So, of course, like, I'm about to get out the car. So I was like, all right, get out. he got out the car, so I drove off. I was like, all right, cool. And like, I'm not about to leave him out there. I drove off. I'm like, I turned the corner like I left, and I turned back around, and I see him walking, and then he just get back in the car. We just both start laughing. And then we going about our night, like
like it never happened. I was just thinking about that. Me and Ebony, we was down there the other day. We drove by there. I thought about the same thing.
They talking about when you gonna start rapping. We'll come on here another time and start rapping, bro. But I'll hit you up, bro. We'll connect.
All right, bro.
All right, bro. Yeah, man. That's my dog right there. That was my best man in my wedding. Best man. I was his, man, and you know, he's been through a lot too. You know, lost his mom this year or last year, or last year. You know, so like, and then, you know, cousin that I know too, lost to COVID. And so he been battling a lot, man. But like you said, like with Ant, what was crazy is like me and Corey were out. Y'all heard me tell the story. Like we were out and we were going to call him literally. Like someone just both on our heart to call him. And, you know, we was like, we'll call him later, whatever like that. And, you know, our next call was, you know, he had committed suicide. So that hurt a lot, you know, because I remember a time in college where Corey called me because, you know, our friend was going through that situation even in college. And, you know, we just was like, oh, man, chill out. Like, get over it. You know, and let that be a lesson, man. Like, when somebody talking like that with mental health, like, don't just brush it off because you never know what they're going through. And then years later, you know, he actually did it. So, you know, that just made us both, like, just a moment, I think a life-changing moment. So, but let me bring one more person on here. But I said that's a true friend. Like, that's a person we're talking about earlier. Like, he's I'm gonna say this. He's a better friend to me than I am to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of those people that like want to make you level up your friendship. Like, that's one of the things he inspires me. I always say, hang around people who inspire you. It's not always gonna be, you know, because they're doing this or doing that. Like as a friend, he inspires me. Like, he's a guy that I feel like I'm talking at his wedding where I actually cried. He's a guy that literally would do anything. Like, I know for a fact, like, no hesitation, if I need something right now, without even any question, like, he would be here. You know what I'm saying? And I have his back like that too. But he's just one of those guys that I see him do that, not just for me, but for everybody in his life. And he's an example of a really good friend that makes me want to be a better friend. It makes me want to level up. So you should have people around your life like you have. And I like to say, friend, that's like family. That's my brother. You know, but you want to have people like that around your life, you know, like that you really feel connected to like that. So, and I have a few other people in my life like that. But yeah, he's one of those people that's been through the whole process of Trent, you know, that's been through the whole process. That's seen it change, you know, where we used to go out and nobody really would know who I am. So now it's just, you know, a lot of people come up and it's just different. It's just weird in a good way. All right, last person, man. I'm looking in the comments right now. Who wants to come on? I see a lot of people getting off, so I must be boring everybody. Or it's time to be asleep. I want to know who you turn to. I want to know what turned you to be one of the most inspirational people of our generation. Dang, that's a crazy title when people say that. I don't even see myself as that. It's crazy to think that. Just the struggle of life. Like, people ask, like, who's your mentor? All of that stuff. Like, I have great people in my life. But life, like, if you just look around, life will teach you so much. If you just listen to people and understand people, like, life will tell you so much. People will tell you so much. And, you know, obviously a chain of events happened in my life that led me here. But I think what makes me special is I understand what transparency can do for your life and for other people's lives. And I like I said, I just truly care. Like, I really, really do. I truly, truly care. And so I guess that, and consistency, whatever else, you know, maybe some cool videos that help in the message. But, you know, for somebody to say that, like, the most impactful or whatever this generation, whatever, like, that's crazy to even think, and I appreciate it. Yeah, God, life. But life, like, literally, life will teach you. Some people ask, like, where do you get your content from? Life. I just look. Like, there's so much content around you. There's so many things around you. There's so many things about so many things to think about. And oftentimes conversations lead to me connecting with myself. Like conversations that I have with people or conversation I'm listening to, or if I'm evaluating somebody's life, that's where I get my stuff from. Oh, okay. Fit broker Chris. It's not working. It said I can't bring you on. Like I'm clicking on it. Whites. Who's it? I taught you so much. Yeah, and I don't always like to use the word real because it's overused. I'm just transparent. You know, have my flaws, and I always say that not to diminish who I am, but just to show you that it's okay. Like we're human beings. I don't know, Frick Broker Chris. All right, cool. Let me bring. Hold on. All right, last person. I'm trying to I'm clicking on your name, and it's not doing it. I hear coyotes outside. You know I'm in the country when it's.
What's that?
Just listen to the coyotes. I think they killed some.
Oh my God, no. Man, starting from this morning, you premiered a video about don't be timid, and up to the live tonight, so many amazing gold nuggets. Like, I've been taking notes. I got your book in front of me right because I see
What'd you say it was again?
this one.
No. The premiere.
Oh, about not being timid.
Okay, got you.
That was on Facebook this morning. And there's just so many little dots that connected up that I just wanted to share because, I mean, you've known me now for a while, and just
Yeah.
everything that you spit tonight was just like hit me on such a level. And it's not like there's inconsistency with the things that you say and do. So I wanted to share this and kind of reiterate what you say because I've seen like this be a consistency thing in my own life that it spoke to me. So on your book, The Greatest You, on page 11, you talk about opinions. And it says the opinions can create a huge roadblock for you because you can begin to see yourself as you think other people see you, right? Like the opinions of others. And it's like, that's so true. And then the next part was that it said that if we don't tackle that roadblock head on, that we're going to stand in the way of finding out who we're actually called to be because we're trying to fit into this paradigm of what everybody else is telling us that we're supposed to be. Right.
Yeah.
And so in my own experience, like I had to shatter that too, because there were so many things in my own life, me trying to uphold this lie of perfection. But once that shattered and I started embracing my failures and, the weak things, the success did become a decision. It wasn't like, oh, I kept failing here. I didn't fit this particular way that people looked at me. I started embracing like who do I want to be? What skills do I need? And what's the price I'm willing to pay to get there? And you and I've had this conversation before. I started seeing that my things where I was broken and being transparent about those things instead of trying to like file them down and hide those from people. I started showing them my jagged edges because that's like how people connect with each other. It's the jagged pieces that connect. So I started seeing that I was actually anti-fragile, right? It's like the more times I broke and I started asking myself how this bad thing was the worst thing that ever happened to me, like was the best thing that ever happened to me, I started to change my perspective and it became my power, right? Perception is power, can be your prison. So I just thought that was amazing how all these dots connected up today.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about this. And I don't know if you have to answer it. This really is just a question in general to everybody. Like, this is something that I think about a lot. I think about how far, and I don't think we ever get to this place. I don't think we do. But I think two things. Like, number one, how far I am from who I truly was called to be, right? Like my purest self. Like, how far off am I from that? And the second part of that, which is kind of goes with that, is like, how much have I been influenced to become something that I'm not, right? Whether that be, and it's crazy when you think about it because as human beings, we are creatures of influence. Like, I asked somebody the other day, I was like, do you think you're being controlled? They were like, no. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, what if you're being so controlled by little things that you don't even realize it? Like, it's just second nature by now. And so I just always think about that. And so it helps me really be mindful of what's influencing my life and it really helps me be mindful, which I said earlier, like realizing what truly matters. So I was just talking about it out loud, but like, what do you think about that? Do you feel like, do you one, think about that, and then two, like, how do you? It's so funny, I'm like interviewing you now, but I'm curious, like, how do you avoid being so influenced that you don't become right what the world wants you to become, unless it's really what your life needs, or do you battle
So
with it?
that's a great question, and I think it comes down to self-awareness. So once I started getting honest with myself, like talking about like recapping your book here, it talks about when I was willing to face the reality, that this isn't who I'm supposed to be. Like, doesn't matter how much booze or drugs or denial or what other activity or relationship that you try and put on top of to cover up that empty feeling inside. Deep down, we know it's underneath there. Like there's a voice inside of us that tells us like this is not who I really am. I think we all have that within us. It's our intuition, God voice, higher self, whatever you want to call it. And once we start going, I I hear that, then we have the ability to start looking at some of the things in our lives that no longer serve us. And for me, I had to I had to make a decision, right? I couldn't just be like, well, I'd like to have this thing. I'd be like, no, like I'm making a conscious decision. I'm going to curate my life. I'm going to stop doing this thing. I want to change myself from the inside out. I don't want to just have this thing on the outside that looks a certain way, and I don't feel that on the inside. Like I want those two things to line up. So like, just like you, man, like what you see is what you get with me. And like, I want to do hard things every day so that I can prove to myself and earn self-respect to know like this is actually who I am and I can see what's real and what's not, you know? I,
Absolutely.
and I think like as we practice that, because it is a practice, it's more intuition. You're able to sniff out when somebody's has an agenda and they're trying to control you or they're trying to like get something out of you. And you mentioned this too with marketing. There's a scarcity mindset that they use to try and, because that appeals to people, or they try and do inspiration. But sadly, our brains are actually wired towards the scarcity mindset because we're like, oh my God, the resource is going to run out. I've got to have this. And so they play on that feeling of insecurity, not being good enough yet. And, at the end of the day, you should always try and improve yourself, but to what extent? Like you can't open a flower with a sledgehammer, right? You got to do that with love and compassion and honesty. And sometimes honesty is like I'm not where I'm supposed to be because I didn't do my best. And sometimes your best means you're going to fail. But having the right perspective about failure, like you said, it's just progression that never quits. So just because you failed doesn't mean you can't get back up and do it again. It takes at least 64 repetitions before a neural pathway gets grooved out in the brain before any new skill set begins to feel more natural, including, you know, how a person feels about themselves, right? Like, it's just facts, it's going to take practice and it's going to be awkward at first, but as that progression continues to take place, you don't have to think about it anymore. It just becomes the new conditioned response.
Man, beautifully, perfectly put. I so appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your light and taking time tonight. I'm gonna take one more person, then I'm out of here. All right, so I appreciate.
Awesome. Thanks, Trent. Good
No
night.
problem. Man, that was deep. So I'm talking about learn from others. Where's the person I'm looking for? Was it Chris something? I saw you, Chris. You said you got it fixed. I saw you, so I'm gonna bring you on because I said I would bring you on. So comment one more time. There you go. I see it. No, it's still not fixed. Let me see if I can find you in here. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, I think I can find you. Oh, I got it. Yeah, it says unable to join. Why is that? It says unable to join. Quick story. Who got a quick story? Who want to come on? Chris, I'm trying to bring you on. Maybe next time. But literally, it just says unable to join. You requested. I know, but it still says unable to join. I don't know if it's because it's private or what. All right. Let me see. You requested. All right, I'm bringing you on. I don't know. I never brought you on, Kelly. Kel May 77. Have your question ready because we got about 3 minutes, and I gotta go to sleep. It's getting cold out here. Me again.
Hello.
What's up,
So, hey, not much. Hello from Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Uh,
What's the weather
yeah.
in Kentucky?
Right now it's cold and raining.
It's like that.
It's been very cold here.
You know, in Texas, this you probably don't even care about this, but it's been the same thing here. Like it's been like usually in Texas, we don't really experience winter until maybe I don't know. Sometimes we never experience it, but it's been freezing here. Like it's like 40 degrees, it's been wet and raining. Like am I in Seattle? But yeah, I just had to vent about that. But I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So, I have a question on how can I encourage, inspire, uplift my fiance? He has come from his mother battles alcoholism, drug addiction. In the past, he has left everything, a catering job, a home, to go try to help her get off the street. I met him through Facebook. He came down here to move with me, came from a homeless shelter, lost everything, trying to help his mother. And since he's been here, he has rose tremendously since December, but he still hangs on to that. And I know it's hard because I've had to battle that with my own brother, having to cut him off because he was toxic to me. He was toxic to my mother. So I'm trying to, get him to see that I know it's his mother, but he's killing the peace that he has within himself now that she is. So how do I keep like encouraging him and uplifting him and having him see that she's destroying his peace indirectly without smothering him?
You say his mother's battling chemo? Did you say
No, addiction.
addiction? Oh, okay. Um, this is tough. I always tiptoe with telling people like what to do and not to like. So I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do because I
Right,
truly don't know the situation. But I will tell you this. So it's two things. Number one, he has to understand. I don't know if you listen to my podcast, but I have a podcast about enabling people. I think that's one of the worst things you can do. I believe in helping people, but I don't believe in enabling people because if you truly care about somebody, then sometimes people think that it means I quit on them because I no longer, comfort their whatever it is that they're going through. That's not the case. Like it's like with the old parable. Like I don't want to just catch your fish for you for the rest of your life.
right,
You how to fish, right? So that podcast, I think you can send them. It's like I don't know what episode, but it's like something about enabler. Stop enabling on my straight up podcast. And then second thing with him, you got to just keep planting seeds. I always say the best way to communicate with somebody is to understand how they receive communication and how they receive connection from you. So you know him, and you got to speak to his greatness. I always say speak to the king in that person. Speak to the warrior in that person. Speak to all these things, and at the end of the day, he has to make that decision, for himself, because you
right,
can't do anything, right? But I always say plant the seeds that you wish for them to grow in his life. And
right,
the only thing we can do is pray about it, and hopefully those seeds will grow. And if they
right.
don't ever, then then it's that's a whole different story and a reality that you have to deal with and make decisions and choices with your life. But I'm going to tell you to keep planting those seeds that you want to see grow in his life, and just keep diving deeper and fighting for him to understand, maybe what's going on.
Well, I know like the other day it killed me to sing, but I don't know if he just had a breakthrough or what. But we were in the process of trying to maybe move her out of Louisville down here with us. And he called her and he told her right in front of me, if you're going to come down here and be in the old wage, you need to stay where you are.
He told her
And
what?
I saw the hurt. He told her if she was going to come down here with us and be in her old ways still, him having to chase her all the time, she just needed to stay where she was at. And it killed him. It killed his soul, I could see. But that's a step for him to heal.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll be praying for y'all, and never underestimate the power of prayer. Nothing's too powerful
Oh,
for.
he blesses us every day.
Absolutely. I always tell people, like, all the advice in the world cannot work, but you know, prayer can be the one thing that does work. So I'll be praying for y'all. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, guys, we have reached under 1,000 people. So I'm gonna say good night. I appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. I know, again, you know, some of y'all might want me to be more consistent, but I promise you, like text messages, I'm very consistent every single night, and I put a lot more effort into that than I do on certain social media stuff. I just feel like I want to connect with those that want to connect with me. So if you're part of that community, great. Again, I'll be texting you guys. It's like a car just sitting out there. It's like they're about to do a drive-by. Like they lights just on creeping. It's either the police or just somebody just chilling. I'm here to y'all remember on Friday when they were like when he licked out, you know, nobody want to mess with the smoke dog or roof. Only people that know Friday gonna laugh at that. So y'all probably like, what is he? Is he just tripping? But I just feel like that. I just have that moment, like, and then the lights cut on and they go and he jump off the fence. Smoke dog, baby. All right. But yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. So I'm about to get off here. I'm getting delusional. But oh yeah. So I'm gonna release something here soon that allows you guys to connect with me more. Right? I took away my inner circle. I didn't really like how that was going. I took that away. And I'm starting something fresh and new, and it's just a deeper way. Like I said, it's gonna be super affordable for everybody. And whether or not you want to do that or not, I don't even know if I'm gonna put that out. I'm gonna gauge y'all's temperature, see if y'all want it. If y'all don't, great. If y'all do, cool. But anyways, my text messaging is something that I really focus heavily on because, like I said, I'm paying $3,000 a month for it, and so I want to make sure I text as much as I can. I want to do other things as much as I can, and a lot of things going on, guys, behind the scenes. So just because I'm not super connected online, you better believe it means that I'm creating offline. And I just get lost in creation, and that's what makes me happy. So getting on this app doesn't always make me happy. Sometimes it feels like a burden, to be honest. Yeah. So when it feels like that, I'm not going to be on here. I hope y'all follow suit. Thank you. Good night. Let me say bye to y'all. What up, Star Child, Carol? What up, PS North from New York? Motivation's key. What's up? Good night. Good night. Some of y'all are so cool that I've been seeing like over and over here for years. It's good to see y'all. The text messages are great. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it. Rare breed is coming. I am Jay. Jay, what up? Is the message gonna be? Is this message? Y'all want me to save this message? I don't be knowing y'all want me to save it or not. I'll save it. So if you guys want to rewatch it, so it'll be saved on IGTV. But peace out, y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Let's get it.